Hello and welcome. My name is Foley and today we do some classic cast as I choose to cast the Setons replay from yesterday. I play myself in this replay, but I will start to tell you who's playing for the South team. There we have Nooblube as air on air player, opening land first. On beach we have Petric, opening land first with his Cyber Commander. On front we have Farmsletje with sturdy UEF, opening land first as well. And we have Nexus on the south rock position, opening air factory first as Seraphim. Nexus is playing versus Francias on the enemy beach position, opening UEF land first. He's accompanied by Turbo, opening double land factory first as UEF. Interesting build order. And we have Foley on rock as Seraphim. I opened with land factory first. And we have achieved on our air position with Cybrin. In the beginning, the most interesting part is usually the fight about the middle mass. We have 30,300 mass here available. That is quite useful for both teams. So it's always kind of important to secure as much as possible of that. And so most likely the South team thought, why not send two ACUs in the middle to fight about the reclaim? As a disadvantage of sending in the ACU that early is, of course, like on any other map as well, that you lose some build power here, so that should lead to some slower base development. Nexus is scouting here, so he gets intel. That is why he made air factory first. Now he knows that Francias doesn't have an early air factory, and he is quite confident that he will get his island quite easily, so he doesn't have to rush anything. This is why he doesn't assist here. At all, and still will get his island. That scout is also useful to get some intel on other spots. Now Farms knows what Turbo is up to. He sees double factory, but he has now his third factory himself. So not really that big of an advantage to open double land factory first. I mean, explaining double land factory basically needs its own video, but it's certainly not overpowered or so. It's just different approach on this map, and is only possible because you have so much early tree reclaim available and you are setting your ACU out of the base. Okay, in this case I scouted Petric and decided to not take my island and go for his base with my early drop here with 4 engineers. Turbo in the meantime will try to get as much mass as possible. Nooblube ecoing. I decided that I probably need to have air because I'm afraid of bombers dealing with my expansions, so I assisted my air a little bit, and I was quite confident that Petric won't be able to assist his air factory that much as his ACU was gone so early. Okay, drop is landed, first factory is in the making. Francias was nicely aware of the situation and gave me his one, or not gave me, but assisted me with his one interceptor, and so we were able to secure here the air superiority. Petric is already reacting to my drop and is producing Mantis, which means at the same time that he is not able to produce engineers, which is good. So actually this is little effective. Okay, this wasn't Mantis, this was even a lab, but this lab is countered now by my first tank. I've got even reclaimed here. Okay, in the meantime, this is their big advantage. They're securing lots of mass in the middle. How much did Turbo get? Turbo got 6,000 mass overall, and this is not all out of the middle because he reclaimed lots of trees, which is mass reclaim as well. But it's certainly something. We might get something here as well. But Petric is now, yeah, he has power issues, which is probably also related to my drop, because that means that he is not able to get as much tree reclaim as he most likely wants to. Set up a PD and 3 factories. I should have killed this expansion here, and I should have built like 2 factories more or so. Yeah, I knew that I have air, so I decided to spend some bombers to front as well to help Turbo a little bit. Actually, you have to know that it's kind of my duty to help my middle player in this situation as he's facing my distinct enemy. This is why I choose to go here. Other option would have been to set my ACU a little bit later and secure this afterwards, or provide even more assistance with air. But I felt quite confident with this decision. This is why I take my island quite late. This also means that my mass income is 10 mass less as it should be, because I take those 5 maxes later. But now I'm taking them. And the damage I'm doing here is quite reasonable, so that drop worked out. Nexus is kind of rushing some frigates here, which Francias didn't scout. Now he's aware that there will be navy, but he made luckily 3 navy factories in time. This is not good. You always should keep an eye on, you should as fast as possible know everything about static emplacements like economy or so you can see whether there's early tick 2 maxes or not. We kind of can see here that Nexus doesn't eco that hard right now here, because otherwise he would probably have more tick 2 maxes. Yeah, some more bombers. Did Francias scout it now? He's still, yeah, this is not, should be like this. Would be better. But it looks like he's able to defend this. Farms now under pressure. Turbo is going, both have unupgraded comps. Turbo is sending this Shift G command units to farms. Oh, he was close to full HP, but he has problems. Oh, that is so mean. That was quite easy kill. Well, this is hard. I mean, he was nearly to full HP and wasn't really close to the units, but his ACU immediately got distracted by pathfinding. Some pigeons from farms that probably were given earlier to Petric. Petric was down to 5 maxes, but now he has middle base as well. Yeah, flag now on front. But overall, a good thing that Farm's ACU died. Petric is now retreating to his beach position. And Nexus is helping out as well with early air and gunships to deal with that drop as well, which is also good because that means he can't focus on winning his rock position. Achieved has now 2 ASF, which could be here and could lead to an early win or even kill the gunships, but he doesn't want to, it seems. Yeah, he's ecoing early. I mean, killing those gunships wasn't important because Petric had the mass and he has much more factories producing units. Unfortunately, he gets quite a reasonable amount of reclaim now, which he can put immediately into rebuilding his economy. So I mean, if you're in this position, it doesn't look good, but if you get the reclaim, you can go up quite fast. Oh, actually, I mean, with this torp, with air superiority, we could have killed Petric here right now, or at least push him. Oh, we couldn't have killed him. He would have gone to land, but would have certainly gotten a little bit problematic for him. Nexus is gonna try to push my proxy here, which wasn't really a proxy. Oh, nice. That bomb killed the NGs from Nexus, but he has more. I made anti-air here. Nexus realizes it is retreating. Okay, so Nexus did go for some torps, which he is using on both sides. But now we have to make a decision as North's team, as Petric has now a reasonable amount of mass, at least more than I have as Rock, because he has all the mass from the middle and all the reclaim. So I will need help from other teammates. Meantime, Francias is going for a drop, did upgrade to Tech 3, and he's not going versus Nexus, who's upgrading Tech 3 himself. Yeah, he's also spamming lots of scouts. If you see lots of scouts getting spammed in some certain direction, you can assume that there is something suspicious going on, like this. On the other hand, it's quite good to have this scout spam, because it delivers you the intel you need to drop your ACU without danger, because you know where enemy scouts are or enemy areas. Yeah, this is why he tries to screen everything with his Tech 1 scouts. Achieved made an strat bomber here, which is going for Nexus. Little drop, trying to get to my island, but the great, or well, actually not so great, anti-air of my Seraphim frigates do their job and kill the transport. Okay. I don't know if they were aware at this point. Probably not. But Petric has TMD here, but unfortunately he doesn't have TMD at this text remix and at this text remix. Let's see if Francias makes use of that. Because Petric is now quite reasonable ahead on me in terms of eco. I had my frigates here, which were, well, Petric has also had frigates, but those 3 subs from Nexus were really bad at this very moment. Yeah, Text 3 ACU can put out so much TML. And he's going to kill the Text remix. But he should have started with this one here. I didn't know, probably it was Text 3 because it was just in the upgrading process. Okay, yeah. Another TML to kill the reclaim potential. Now he's able to kill one additional max. But Petric in the meantime made TMD to protect his navy production. $54 mass per second are used for this TML to be produced. Chief gave me 1 ASF. Actually at this point I didn't realize that. And the strat, we weren't able to see that. That strat is here, off map, and never came back. I think it stayed there until the end of the game. Francias is Tech 3 ACU, so he made Sam, which is good. So we aren't afraid of any air engagements really, and we can use air ourselves a little bit more confident. And I try to push as good as I can, because what I want to do now is to deny Petric to be able to produce Navy at a significant rate. I don't want him to be able to produce Tech 2 Navy really, because he has more mass available, and if he gets the opportunity to invert that completely into the water, I could get serious problems. Although Togo is now helping me a little bit with some frigates, and I have the assistance from Francias. Nexus on the north side is now Tech 2 Navy, but other than that he's also only making frigates like Francias does. And they have some nice frigate clash. Let's see how they micro all their frigates. That's probably one of the worst things when you have so much Tech 1 units to micro them. TMD here as well. Petric did really a good job. He secured his base quite nicely and quite efficient. TMD is able to defend versus TML, so the damage is not that big. But I still try to make as much damage as possible, although he has enough frigates for now, and he has what will become really nasty, an upgraded stealth torpedo Tech 2 commander. Chief's now also going to help me. Yeah, he decides to bomb the build power and the TMD, which is a good decision overall, because I can kill the other TMD. They did decide to fight air. Nooblube was able to kill the strat, so that strat isn't any help anymore. Yeah, Nexus most likely doesn't push through here. because he has 2 fuel right now. He needs more navy. He needs Sec 2 navy. Nexus usually egos up quite hard. I mean, he has 250 mass, which is quite reasonable amount, but at minute 19, if you play for eco, you can have full tech 3 eco at around 500 mass at this moment. Well, like 1 minute later you can have full tech 3 economy and then be a really big threat for Francias. But this is because he had to help Petric. He had to make early navy, and he made those gunships, and he wanted to push Francias because he knew that Francias Tech 3 ACU is here, and Francias is investing his economy in terms of his ACU commander versus another position. So that makes Nexus think he has to push Francias as he has less eco available, which is quite the correct assumption. But Francias is doing a good job here on the other side and defending versus this push. And he's giving at least enough time for Turbo to join that navy as well. Airfight could be close here. Okay. In the meantime, on south, that first push worked so far. We have killed Tech 2 Navy HQ, which was here, and denied the ability from Petric to build too much Navy units. But now there will be a lot of hover spam from the middle. Nexus sent his Tech 3 ACU to make factories as well, and now there's coming quite a significant amount of hover units. Francias chose to go on land with his Tech 3 commander, building PD. Nooblube now a little bit ahead on mass, and he has 10 air factories. Let's have a look on Achieved. Chief is only at 8. Over here 2 more. Okay, Chief is now also at 10 air factories. Let's check the ASF counts. It's 102 versus 111. So Chief has a little bit less ASF, so it's kind of a good decision not to fight air. You actually only want to fight air if you know that you have way more, or you have to defend versus something that is really necessary to be defended. This is actually why Nooblube isn't going to air fight really, because it's only 4 torps. Oh, now there's an air fight. Didn't actually realize this air fight in game. And it looks like, yeah, Nooblube screwed totally the micro here. As we check the numbers, and here's Flag, he should have won this quite easy, but he didn't, which is really good for North team. Because a loss here most likely would have led to a loss of that position. But now we defeated so far the enemy air and are able to use torpedo bombers ourselves. Yeah, this would have clearly been the end for this position if they would have gotten air. But this way we can defend this position for now. But on the other side, South team is able to defend as well. Nexus is really putting a lot of eco into defending here. We remember that he was at 18 minutes also on 252 economy, so he didn't upgrade any mechs the last minutes, which is quite unusual for him. Yeah, Francias. What is he spending? Yeah, he's upgrading the Nexus versus Eco because he gave all factories to Turbo, who has only 200 mass available. Yeah, I was demanding Coopers because I wanted something to deal with that torpedo ACU, which is here with stealth. That was really annoying. Okay, so this means a lot of reclaim. This is 40,000 reclaim here in the water, and Tobur has 200 mass income, and they have Francis income as well, so he will be able to compete with Nexus easily soon, because Nexus still on 250 mass. This game was kind of all about shifting around who's playing versus who, because I mean normally you have certain enemies like rock versus beach, and on the other side as well. But here kind of mid place now versus rock, and rock on the other hand plays versus enemy rock, and so on. In the beginning as well, beach fought versus mid, and air is fighting versus everything. This is kind of a game how I like it the most, not the typical lane fights. I will fast forward now by +1 now. As we will see now how Turbo is, yeah, he's going straight to Tech 3. He has all the reclaim here available, and he has enough time to build a battle cruiser as Nexus is pushed back for now. Francis decided to drop his ACU in the middle here, but he forgot that he started shield, and to start shield you have to delete TML. So he's now in between lots of air units, lots of land units, and doesn't even have TML. If he had TML, he could have done a little bit damage. Fun part is that South team didn't know about this, so they made TMD, at least something. They wasted some mass on this. But I didn't have a fun situation here as well, because they were able to build 11 and 9 20 Tech 2 Arties. So I can't push really with my navy versus 20 Tech 2 Arties and all that hover spam. Francis maybe trying to be a little bit sneaky here, but there's flag and ASF, so it was quite clear he met his fate here. Yeah, Nexus tried here to deny the production, which was quite successful, but now he got pushed back. The first battle cruisers online, and Toro has lots of frigates available to deal with it. And now he will get Francias' base. And with that base we have more than enough mass to fight versus Nexus. How much does he actually have? Didn't know. Now he got the base. Yeah, he has 412 mass versus 260, and Nexus doesn't have that much navy here. So I kind of knew that situation, but I wasn't sure, or I wasn't aware that Turbo had so much mass lead. Because on the other hand, I fought as Rock alone as well. So this was why I had problems. But I got help from Francias and some help from Achieved and also some units from Turbo. So the position is how it is right now. And I was able to catch up on economy. So I'm able to keep up the pressure versus Petric. And in the meantime, Nexus is having a hard time here on North, fighting versus this quite of intense navy production. Yeah, he kind of felt that he is forced to eco now, and he's retreating from this position because he can't afford to build more here, as he has to defend now versus middle and north, middle and beach position. Yeah, Nooblube is going to make some torpedo bombers, as he wants to help and to release the pressure here. I mean, this was kind of dangerous. If there were really a lot of torps and that would have killed like half of my navy, he would have been seriously been able to establish enough navy to get annoying, because he had Tech 3 navy, and this is why I push here now, because I really don't want him to be able to finish the jet battleship. But luckily we had shield boats and enough cruisers and a SAM that was made earlier from Francias to defend versus this approach. And now I'm wasting kind of a lot of units here, but I want to sacrifice them because the biggest threat is that Tech 3 HQ to be finished, actually that battleship to be finished. So I'm going in. Yeah, and I started to make, I will start later to make cruisers. The cruiser's doing a great job here. And finally we were able to kill that position. Yeah, Achieved is mentioning that this off-map threat is still alive. Where is it? Yeah, it's somewhere here. Yeah, it's here. Without fuel. Nexus only has some destroyers left and 3 battleships. No frigates. And okay, Turbo lost battlecruiser here. But he doesn't have too many additional ships, Tech 1 and Tech 2 as well. He also has only more the bigger ships. But it's still more than enough to compete with the navy from Nexus. Achieved is upgrading laser, And he made a nuke. That is close to be done. What they also don't have, oh, they have somewhere, I actually don't know where. Where do they have an Omni? But they, yeah, they have to have an Omni. Oh, actually they don't. No, this is only sonar here, delivering sonar intel. And they don't have Omni, which is also kind of great. Because having Omni is always good. Yeah, Chief saying that Turbo has shall kill the flag, because if the flag is dead, he can use his gunships. Turbo didn't push at a rate what he could push, because there was nothing to really hold him from winning. Yeah, Nooblube really had kind of some issues lately when fighting air. So he gave Nexus air. He has 370 ASF and Chief only has like 300 here. Some is old fuel. Let's say 310.
Strategic launch detected.
Yeah, Nexus didn't really know they were there. He didn't have Omni, but now there's an airfight. At the same time the nuke is launched. It was launched here, which was really, I didn't know about this, and at that time I really had a hard time here to break through. But so this nuke really felt helpful because it will deal with all those arties here. But we lost air at this very moment. Which made me for a short time a little bit pessimistic. Yeah, that nuke did really a great job here. Because now I'm able, without the threat of like 20 Tech 2 arties, that I can use my Navy force to kill the Navy here. How many TMD made Petric? This is 59 TMD UEF and 22 Cyber. I think it was close to 100 TMD all about. Yeah, they want to try to top the top navy to win top, but unfortunately Nexus didn't have enough mass and navy to break through. I can already tell you that, which is not so surprisingly, because he has much less mass available than Turbo has here. Good job from Achieved here also to sneak behind enemy lines and catch some torps with only a little air force. But Petric is now going to be pushed out of the water. And those torps are not able to do that much as they were chased by ASF, and Turbo was able to set up enough Tech 1 AA spam. So at this position, kind of like 100 torps won't do that much, as we have shields here and we have tons of anti-air. Although that's quite a lot. I mean, this is, but he's losing constantly to little air forces here. This is 50, and oh, he gave again. This is 115. I mean, Nooblube had a huge base. Look at that. He has, oh my god. Petric died. he has 34, actually 35 F factories. And a torp needs like 13 seconds. He had 13 seconds, so that's 35 torps every 30 seconds at 13 seconds, as he has enough mass. Yeah, so that is in half a minute you have 100 torps. But UF Navy is also quite good, and that most likely won't be enough at any point, especially after the beach position is getting crushed now, and it is crushed by another nuke. And one of the biggest problems Nexus has here, which is also related to the lack of mass income, that he doesn't have assisting units to his Tech 3 Navy. And it's also hard to be at any spot, because this Air Force here does a good job as well. Nexus is realizing the situation and is giving up. But it was really hard work. This was 38 minutes in game, and yeah, it felt really hard because yeah, this win wasn't for free. Imagining that there wasn't a nuke, this would have been even harder. The only good thing is that our top position would have probably won at some point, even after topping, but this could have taken quite forever. Yeah, thank you for tuning in again. I hope the sound quality is a little bit better now, and see you in the next cast.